comfortably, the first thing you need to do between yourselves is identify who's going to be your leader for this morning, leader or chairman, however you like to look at it. Oh. Okay, and we also need 2 note keepers. I don't know if there's still note post-its around. So you need to nominate a leader or chairman and 2 note keepers. So the first thing we need to do is focus on the sovereignty of God. And we're going to do that in 2 ways. We're going to look at Psalm 136, 1-9. Sorry, Nick. And then we're going to, we'll do that all together. And then in groups, we're going to read 3 scriptures. So if 3 people in each group, 1 person finds John 16:13, 1 person finds James 1-5, and 1 person finds Jeremiah 29:11. When we finished saying the psalm, go straight into reading the verses. Okay, so we're just going to move on now. That's a taste of how you could start a meeting. If you like to look at the front, starting praying about something as major as what's going to happen over the next few years in the direction we need to go. The key question is, what is God's purpose? Okay, so we're going to have about 5 minutes now while you pray in groups about that. Start off with some thanksgiving for all that's happened, the things Murray told us about earlier on. Pray for discernment, understanding, and leading. Allow some silence, and then I will suggest when you move into a time of sharing anything the Lord has shown you, if you haven't already done so, you might want to share as you go. So you've got 5 minutes to do that. Yeah, I didn't say it very well, I was rushing. Okay, if you glance at the screen, you will see that there's a different pictorial way of asking what the key priorities are. People that like planning with mind maps often like this sort of view. Just to clarify, I wasn't suggesting that each group only have one idea, but that the ideas need consensus for us to be confident they're from God. But we're looking, see if you can put a priority heading for each of those shapes. We won't get it finished today. This is ongoing over the next 5 weeks. Okay, sorry to have to move you on again, but as I said, this is an ongoing process. If you look at the screen again, this is the interesting part, and this is the other part of what we're doing. What is your involvement going to be in all this, individually? So you have a short silence time of prayer now, while you just reflect on what you do in and through the church, what you would like to do in and through the church, and the scary one, what is the Lord asking you to do in and through the church? Again, we're going to have to move on, but hopefully that's something that you can take away with you and be praying over at home. And when you're praying in home groups during the weeks, at this stage, at the end of praying on the focus for the group, you then pick up any of those prayer thoughts that people had to note down that came to them that you couldn't deal with at the time. So someone who needs prayer for healing, or a situation that wasn't relevant as we were going through. As we close, I just want to underline that as we try to be sensitive to God's leading, we should at least in part have a sense of clarity and harmony within the group concerning God's will in the matter. Now that includes not only agreement on what he wants the larger group to do, but everyone should have a spirit of peace and confidence that that direction, that way ahead, will bring honour to God through Christ. And I think Murray will be, in 5 weeks' time, collecting your ideas from today and from the groups. And we should then see themes and hopefully discern the directions we're going to go.
Thank you very much indeed, Susie. That's been really, really helpful to hear all of that and to get a sort of pattern and feel of what we're going to do in the home groups over the coming weeks. It is fascinating because it is a process of walking with God, of God leading us along the way. And instead of kind of trying to come up with instant answers or brilliant ideas, it is very much about listening to God and sharing that with each other and seeing what interesting and surprising things emerge out of it.